When we bring to mind Italy's military vehicles, we usually think of, wait, what do we think of? Few know that apart from its air force, numerically inferior only to that of the Soviets, Italy also possessed a very strong navy. However, it had no aircraft carriers at all. Its air force had to protect the ships from airfields on the shore. But the war highlighted the impracticality of this doctrine, with the navy falling victim to attacks from Allied aircrafts more and more often, with no air cover to speak of. So in 1942, a special program was launched to build aircraft carriers with particular urgency. This meant that multi-purpose sea-based aircraft capable of carrying torpedoes also had to be built. Developing such a vehicle from scratch would be an expensive and lengthy undertaking, so the leading fighter of the time was used as a base model, the Fiat G.55. But in 1943, because of the Italy's surrender, work on modernizing the fighter was stopped. It was restarted only in 1944 at the behest of A&R. The designers sacrificed the high-caliber frontal machine guns for the sake of a torpedo rack mounted under the fuselage, which could carry a 987-kilogram torpedo. The engine radiator and the rear section were redesigned. The aircraft was christened the G.55 Silurante. Its tests were successful, but the war came to an end and there was no longer a need for the torpedo carrier. In War Thunder, the G.55S is represented in the historical camouflage of prototype number MM91086. A characteristic visual feature of the S model is its radiators mounted under the wing to allow for carrying torpedoes under the fuselage. The vehicle is part of the Italian premium aircraft branch. The armament of the G.55S consists of 3 MG151 cannons with a caliber of 20 mm. 2 of those are mounted on the wings, and 1 is mounted in the propeller hub. It can carry 2 50-kilogram bombs, or 1 100-kilogram bomb, or a 450 mm torpedo. Its powertrain is a Fiat Ra 1050, a licensed copy of the German Daimler-Benz 605A engine with 1,422 HP. Thanks to this, the aircraft can reach speeds of up to 634 km per hour. Its rate of climb is almost 19 meters per second. It has practically no armor. The pilot is protected by frontal glass with 50 mm thickness and a steel seat with 8 mm thickness. Other aircraft parts have no protection, but its design is solid, with a twin longeron wing. Flutter hits at 850 km per hour. Maneuvering is possible even at critical speeds without tearing off the wing. In flight, the G.55S feels like a balanced and comfortable fighter. Messerschmitt pilots are likely to appreciate it most of all, because of how similar it is to control and fight with. The aircraft feels good in vertical flight thanks to its powerful engine and durable design, and it remains easy to control even at high speeds. Dogfights are also possible, but here you'll need to practice control with the flaps. In battle mode, they'll withstand up to 430 km per hour, and that's definitely worth taking advantage of. But this aircraft depends on energy, and it's best not to spend it in vain. Just as it isn't worth getting tangled in skirmishes near the ground, although the G.55S is in its element at medium and high altitudes, it doesn't last long at low altitudes. The best tactic for learning this vehicle is a good and old boom and zoom. Its 3 cannons provide excellent firepower, and all you need to do is aim well to put an end to your opponent. And since it has MG151s on board, high-explosive shells can also be used. This is a hot aircraft, and in spite of its 2 radiators instead of the single one on the series-produced version, the G.55S overheats a little faster. With automatic radiator flap controls, computer follows the same temperature on the torpedo carrier and on the series-produced version. In these conditions, the torpedo carrier's radiator flaps will be more solidly closed. This is done so as not to seriously lose speed. 2 radiators significantly slow down the aircraft. There are 2 methods to cool down. You can simply let off the throttle completely and wait for the engine to cool down. But that clearly won't be much help in battle. The second method is to switch to manual engine control and fully open the radiator's flaps. This is a great reason to learn how to do that. This method is just as good when climbing as in battle, and with the right level of skill, It will allow you to stretch out the engine's combat operation time from 3 minutes to 15 minutes. On the whole, the G.55 Silurante is an easy-to-use, albeit hot Italian. It's suitable mainly for experienced pilots capable of keeping an eye on the engine values even in the most difficult situations. And if you suddenly get sick of aerial battles, you can always grab a torpedo and take up sea hunting. You can find more detailed information about the G.55S in the War Thunder Encyclopedia.